Today we celebrate Corpus Christi, the body and blood of Christ. We celebrate the Eucharist. And usually when we do Trinity Sunday and Corpus Christi, the job of the priest in his homily is to kind of explain them and theologically approach them and kind of give reasoning for them. But I don't want to do that here today for the Eucharist. I actually want to do something a little bit different and really talk about the mystery of it all, the amazing part of it. That's like something above that even the best descriptions and all the best theology and the best discussions and proofs can't touch. See, because at the end of each Mass, I always say thank you for coming. And I don't say that just because I'm being nice or something. I actually say it because every time I come to Mass, I'm shocked that I'm not the only one there. I'm surprised that when I persist down this aisle, kiss the altar, and look up, it's not an empty church. Because I do. I've studied all this stuff. I've looked through the scriptures. I've had all these theology classes. But when push comes to shove, there's a part of me that's like, this is crazy. This is wild. This doesn't, even with the rationality and the logic of it all, and all these pieces falling together and the building from the very beginning to the very end, all of it really fits together neatly. I believe that I received Jesus Christ, body, blood, soul, and divinity here in about a half an hour. That is a confusing thing to believe. But I believe it. And I would say but it's not just that I believe it, but there's something more that goes on. There's something more than why I'm here. I remember the one time I mentioned this to someone, a parishioner, when we were kind of just sitting around talking, reflecting, and they said, well, don't you ever, well, why do you show up? And I was like, well, I have the reasons, but there's also a love or something. There's something above all my reasons that keeps me returning here day after day. That's pulled me to be a priest, right? And the person said, well, we all have that, right? There's something more. We're not just here out of cold logic or just a simple reason. We're here because we recognize there is something more. And that is the mystery of the faith. Most importantly and most pinnacly seen in the Eucharist. One of my things I enjoy doing, one of my hobbies, I guess almost, is I love looking on YouTube and watching videos of people talk why they converted to the faith, or maybe they're not Catholic and they go to a Catholic Mass and they describe what they see, what they experienced. And usually it's kind of what you expect, right? There's nothing too shocking. They're all coming from different roads. But I was surprised once, very surprised and really almost confused by one of the reactions. It was a man about my age. He was going to a non-denominational, kind of like the churches with all the lights and the sounds and the bands, right? And he came to the Catholic Church and he said the most shocking thing of it was as he sat there, he heard babies crying, the families with their kids and all this stuff, and he was confused why you would ever do that. He's like, at my church, all the kids and the babies are taken to the side and they go somewhere else for worship, right? And they have their own thing. And it shocked me because in my mind, that's like sacrilegious in a sense, to separate families during the highest moment of of worship that we have together, right? Why would you separate families at this time? Right now, as we're about to see God become present before us. Right? But the reason my mind thinks like that is because we have a mystery here. We're not just gathering here in prayer. This isn't a Bible study. This is the Mass. This is what Christ instituted in the upper room. We're receiving Christ, body, blood, soul, and divinity. In our gospel, he said, eat my flesh. A powerful and shocking commandment to make. And so this worship here is something more. There is something mysterious above all the reasoning of even the scripture itself. There's something above it all. God speaking through it, I say, and actually hitting our hearts in that mysterious way. I was at ordination this morning. We have a new priest, Father Andrew Hartung, who's now ordained for a diocese. Keep him in your prayers. But every priest, as they're getting ordained, before the offertory, the priest is handed the chalice and the paten by the bishop with the bread and the wine that's going to be consecrated, that he's going to consecrate for the first time in his life. And after a short prayer, the bishop gives him a command. He says, be conformed to the mystery of the cross. Be conformed to the mystery of the cross. Not here's what you're going to be working with, here's the tools of the trade. It's conform yourself. What he's focusing on at that moment as he's receiving the patent is the crucifixion of Christ. And that mystery, this idea that there's something greater than us. That feeling, the reason I keep returning here, the reason I love my faith so much, and my priesthood, and the Mass, and the Eucharist, is because of that conforming to that mystery. As we experience it more and more, as we receive it deeper and deeper into our souls, we are formed into it. We are conformed. We are changed by it. And we have a deeper sense of it. And so I want to give everybody here that same command as you receive the Eucharist today, as I hand it to you. Conform yourself to the mystery of the cross.